Hey guys, this is part 2 of the group buy of Paclocks that J.M. Murdy arranged directly with the company, and got these in the mail yesterday, and I thought I'd go over them real quick. These are really interesting. I think these are the newest manufacture. You'll see we have 3 basically. I've got them arranged according to model number, and I've used a magic marker so I can make sure that I get them back in the right box, basically. The first are the Model 90s, and these are really nice little locks. This is solid steel, very heavy. There's no marking for Paclock anywhere on it. These 3 all have the standard key called the Pr2 series keyway, and it's a lot like the American, pretty wide open. You can get in there fairly easily, at least get access. I'm not saying you can pick these easily, because that would be a lie. You can't. Trust me. These are comparable to the American Series 40, and this is one on the left, just to give you an idea. I don't know if the patent ran out and Paclock just used it, or it's just by coincidence they came up with the same dimensions. The only difference, of course, you can take the shackle out of both of these, but on this one you have a screw, just like you do on the American Series 700. So really cool little lock. He sent me 3 of these. The only difference in these, of course, is the difference in the shackle size. They're all identical in terms of the components. The next series up is a little bit different. These are the Series 100s, 102, 103, etc. This is the 100A. I think these are safety locks. That's why they come in all these different colors. There is a marking on these, and it is the only marking, and it says right there on the side, Paclock engraved. Nowhere else does it have a marking. The difference between the 90 and the 100 is a little bit larger. In fact, dimensionally, it's identical to the American Series 5200. Here's a 5200 series body. I didn't have an intact one handy, but it's the same width, the same height, the same depth. Everything's identical. Except on these, of course, like the American 700, you take that out, that screw out, that set screw, and the shackle will come out when the thing is unlocked. So the other difference, of course, is that this is an aluminum body, and the Series 90 are all hardened steel bodies. These also have the Pr2 series key. Now, I'd like to point out the new Paclocks have an anti-pick feature. In fact, several anti-pick features. The first, when you get started on this, you can turn the key just a little bit, and there's no spring resistance whatsoever. But when you reach a certain point, you can feel the core dragging inside of there, and the spring tension gets progressively greater as you turn it. It gets much harder. It starts off easy, and by the time you get here, you really have to put some significant torque on that core to get it unlocked. And then, of course, it finally will unlock, but it's tremendous pressure, and then it's completely free. The other thing is, if you look, the core moves around in there just a little bit. I don't know if that's by design or what, but that definitely hurts you when you're trying to pick these locks. So anyway, I've got 3 of these. I got the 100, the 102, and these are both keyed with that Pr2 keyway, kind of wide open. And then, I don't know if by accident, but I ended up with something unique. And this purple one has a different keyway. This has, if you look closely at it, it's called the Pr2 keyway. There's what the bitting looks like. So let's do the obligatory picking on this thing. I'll pick this purple one. Let me move all this junk out of the way and clamp that lock up, and we'll get it picked. Okay, attempt number 3 and pick number 3. This thing has broken 2 of my older picks, and now I've got a brand new one, so we're going to give it another shot. Still the same lock, still locked up. So let's try not to break a pick this time, Bill. You see this, the core is kind of floppy in there, and after messing with this for about 20 minutes, I think that's a design feature, because when you give upward tension, it gives you feedback, which leading you to believe you have some kind of security pin. In fact, it's just the core moving. Another feature, of course, is this Pr2 keyway. I love it because it just really keeps us out. Very thin on the top, very sharp left-hand turn to get at the pins. Just deprives us of almost total access to the pins at the top. And enough crying. Well, no, not enough. I got one more thing I'd like to talk about, and that's that progressive spring tension. I tell you, it's a nightmare to try to figure out where you are. You have to ride the edge of it. Too little tension, and the precision in these locks is good enough that you don't just drop one pin, you drop 2 or 3. So I've had to restart several times, not by design, just because I released a little bit too much tension. Like right now I have a bound pin, and the only way to get him to set is to release that tension, try to set him, and then see what else fell down. And of course all the ones in the back did their thing and came down. This thing is full of spools and serrated. Oh, my tension wrench is falling out. I'm going to reset him. Oh well, it's open. Great. Let me tell you, fellas, these are not an easy pick. These are very difficult locks. These are not like the other Paclocks. In fact, why don't we go ahead and bust this thing open just to see what's inside of them. I have broken a few of them open earlier, and not this one though. I want you to see what's inside of these new Paclocks. So we'll need a screwdriver. They come apart exactly like the American locks. There's a Phillips screw right on the very top. Pretty good design, quite honestly. Very easy to do maintenance on them. Okay, we're done with that. We're done with that. Now, when we look at the core, let me angle this a little bit better here. When we look at the cores on these, they are identical to the American cores. In fact, I have put another one up here, just had it set aside. You can see everything on them is identical. Dimensions, I think you could probably replace this Paclock core with one of the older Americans, and the difference comes in. This American one here, this old nasty looking one, I don't have a key for it, but you pull off the clip, and then of course the core comes out. On these new Paclocks, there's no such clip. So we are actually going to need the key in order to open this one. This is the new design American lock. So let's go ahead and rotate it so it's now locked. When you put your key in, the way that it works, if you look closely, there's a small indentation right here. And so if we rotate this, and then I have to find the right angle, and then we just push on the back of it, when it comes to the right angle, that should pop out, he says. And if that doesn't work, come on, you devil. I can feel him jiggling there. He wants to come out. I'm going to give him a little whack with a pair of pliers, and that should do it. There we go. Now he's starting to come out. So all we need to do now, we make sure our pins are on the top. We'll get our small follower, get everything lined up here, and once he's started, we can generally push him the rest of the way out. Come on. Oh, okay, I dropped one pin, and that would be the pin. I dropped 2 of them actually, but that's okay. We're going to get this. Let's first set that aside. We're going to pull out the key pins first. These are all normal key pins. Set that aside. On all these Paclocks that I've opened, and I've not opened this one before, but all of them that I opened, the key pins are all normal or standard. Nothing spectacular. When you look at the core itself, nothing spectacular about it, but Paclock does populate all 6 cylinders, which is kind of refreshing. Then, let me get the tweezers here. Start pulling these up. The first one in Paclock is always a spool, and then it's serrated, and it alternates serrated spool, all the way back. And then the last one, oops, spool. Next one will be a serrated. Next one will be a spool. Yeah, should all pop out. And the last one is a normal pin. So there we go. There's our spool, and there's the standard. So there's what you're looking at, and my sample size is not large. This is only the 4th one of these that I've opened up, but so far all of them have been pinned identically, all standards, and then the very pin number 1 is a spool, and then it alternates. Spool, serrated, and the very last one is a standard to keep that core from rotating, kind of flopping around. It keeps it locked up pretty solid. When you combine these mixed pins with the the progressive strength spring and then the flopping around inside of there because of the loose fit. Again, I'm starting to really think that that's a design feature. And then of course the weird keyway, this Pr2 keyway, which really makes a sharp turn, makes it really hard to get at those upper pin or at those pins. This is a really secure lock. All these are just very, very impressive. Nothing like that earlier Paclock, which we raked open about 6 times in 30 seconds. You will not be doing that with these. These are outstanding locks. So if you want a real challenge and you want to be frustrated like me with these things, get yourself a Paclock, because they are not easy picks, well worth the money, and much Master Lock. You guys ought to be taking notes, because this, gentlemen, is how it's done. Anyway, thank you for your time. Stay safe, stay legal.